Metric system. We use metric system in chemistry because it's usually the standard unit for all scientists and it is used by the rest of the world. And it's really easy to use because it's based on the power of 10. So if you can multiply by 10 and divide by 10, you understand the metric system. The metric system is a standardized unit. It is known as the International System of Units, or abbreviated as SI units. There are two types: the basic, which is the fundamental, and derived. Derived units are made from fundamental units. So a fundamental unit may be a meter, or a second, while a derived unit will be developed from the fundamental unit. So for example, cubic meter is a derived unit. Why? It is a meter times a meter times a meter. The unit for velocity is also a derived unit. It is equal to meters per second, in which the meter and the second are both base or fundamental units. For the first unit, we need to understand and recognize these four basic measurements. A length is a distance between 2 points. The SI unit is meters, abbreviated small m. That meters is a fundamental unit. Mass is the amount of matter in an object. The SI unit is kilograms, kg. It is not grams. Time is past, present, future flow of events. The SI unit is seconds, abbreviated S. Sometimes you will also see it as SEC. Volume is the amount of space occupied by an object. The SI unit is cubic meters. And again, cubic meters is a derived unit. Why? It consists of a meter times a meter times a meter. And each of these meters is a fundamental unit. For this class, you need to memorize the following prefixes and their definition so you understand how to convert from one measurement to another. Mega is a capital M. It is 10 to the 6th or a million. Kilo is K, symbol, is 10 to the 3rd or 1,000. Hecto is H, which is 10 to the 2nd or 100. Deca, DA, is 10 to the 1, which is equal to 10. The base unit, which is 10 to the 0, remember power of 0 makes it equal to 1, are meter, second, liter, grams, joules. It could be calories, it could be pascals. Those are my base units. Going smaller, deci is a small d, is 10 to the negative 1 or 0.1 or 1 over 10. Centi is C, 10 to the negative 2, which is equal to 0.01, which is equal to 1 over 100. Milli is a small m, 10 to the negative 3, which is equal to 0.001, which is equal to 1 over 1,000. Micro, abbreviated mu, or cursor u, is 10 to the negative 6, or 5 zeros, and a 1, or 1 over a million. Nano, which is N, if you notice, it starts with an N, abbreviation is an N, is 10 to the negative ninth, and 9 starts with an N, is equal to 0.8 zeros and a 1, or 1 billion. Pico, which is P, is 10 to the negative 12th, which is also equal to 0.11 zeros and a 1, or 1 trillion. For the first unit test, you should know mega, kilo, deca, base, deci, centi, milli, and micro. Nano and pico will be tested later on, and any of the English conversion that you need will be provided on the test. So for example, you do not have to memorize there are 12 inches in a foot, or there's 2,000 pounds in a ton. All of those will be provided for you. The conversion between metric and English system will also be provided for you. However, you need to memorize these prefixes, and 1 ml is equal to 1 cubic centimeter for the test. Mega means 10 to the 6th. Kilo is 10 to the 3rd. Hecto is 10 to the 2nd. Deca is 10 to the negative 1st. Base is 10 to the 0. Anything 10 to the 0 power is equal to 1 or itself. Deci is 10 to the negative 1st. Centi is 10 to the negative 2nd. Milli is 10 to the negative 3rd. Micro is 10 to the negative 6th. Nano is 10 to the negative 9. Pico is 10 to the negative 12. If you notice, between mega and kilo, there's a difference of 10 to the 3rd, which is 1,000. Between kilo and hecto is multiple of 10. Hecto to deca is a multiple of 10. Deca to base is a multiple of 10. Base to deci is a multiple of 10. Centi and deci is a multiple of 10. Centi to milli is a multiple of 10. But milli to micro is again 10 to the 3rd, which is 1,000. Micro to nano is also 10 to the 3rd, which is 1,000. And then nano to pico is also 10 to the 3rd, which is 1,000. So from kilo to centi is all difference of multiple of 10. Anything outside of kilo and milli is a multiple of 1,000. If you see M by itself, it stands for meter. If you see a capital M in front of a little m, this is mega meters. So here it's a prefix. If I see a little m before the m, this is millimeter. So make sure you write your m's correctly. So any letter, symbol by itself, it's the base unit. If you have two letters or two symbols, it is a prefix and the base unit. If you are having difficulty memorizing the metric system, use any of the three following mnemonics, or you can make one up yourself. First one, Master King Henry died basically drinking chocolate molten milk. M here stands for mega. K here stands for kilo. H stands for hecto. D here stands for deca. B is the base units. Drinking, D stands for deci. C stands for centi. M stands for milli. M here stands for micro. So the first letter of each of these words represents the prefixes. The second mnemonics is Master King Henry's daughter Beth drinks cold milk until 9 p.m. Here, M stands for mega, K stands for kilo, H stands for hecto, D stands for deca, B stands for base units, D stands for deci, C stands for centi, M stands for milli, U stands for micro. If it's easier for you to memorize the symbol for micro, which looks like a cursor for you, then use until. N stands for nano, P stands for pico. Or many kids have devoted bedtime decisively counting metric units numerous. M stands for mega, K still stands for kilo, H still stands for hecto, D is deca, B is base units, D is deci, C is centi, M is milli, U is micro, symbol for micro, N is nano. If these three mnemonics helped you, use it. If not, you can make one up on your own, or you could just memorize them.